It's your friend Maggie. All right, I'm going to get right into it, right? Because I know I can go on and on and on. I want to start a series I'm going to call Educate, meaning educate yourself. Today is the first in the series, and I'm going to talk about culture, cultural norms in Panama that you may not be aware of if you're a brand new expat or you are researching Panama. These are must knows for you. All right, I'm not going to spend time. Let's go into it. What is culture? Why is it important? If you've chosen to relocate to another country, you owe it to yourself to learn about the country's culture. Culture is a set of values. It's what makes a group of people unique, what is unique to them, their language, their customs, their food, their belief system, religion, how they think about life, how they think about politics, familia, family, how they celebrate holidays, their faith. All those are cultures. And every country, society may have some nuances and differences. You know that. Because even in the US, from one part of the country to the other, there are differences. So, Panama is in Central America. And if you've read anything about its history, it's got, that's why my friend Hilario calls it a paella of cultures. We have Caribbean, Afro-Caribbean, African, Spanish, of course, they were colonized by Spain. Then you had people come to work on the canal, Chinese, other Asians, Caribbeans, some Europeans, so we're all here. It's a paella. In fact, 60 to 70% of the people here are called mestizos, which means they are a mix of indigenous. Oh, I forgot indigenous. How could I forget that? So when you look at cultures, dances, music, food, all of those, they're a little bit different, but they all come together to make a beautiful paella. Why is culture important? Because it helps you understand how the people around you move around, what they think, how they think. And your job is to learn, acknowledge, and adapt. Learn, acknowledge, and adapt. Not criticize, not getting upset, accept. Number one, they are chilled. People tell you, and in fact, I was talking to a sister this morning, and she said when she got at the airport, she felt this weight falling off of her shoulders. I felt the same. Other people have felt the same. So when you come to Panama, you're just able to relax because you're not looking over your shoulders. You're not on alert like we have been, um, what's the word, programmed to be, right? Expect the worst, being judged, mistreated, talked about. Anyway, we don't need to go into that, but I'm going to cry. But when you come here, people are so chill and kind and nice. Life is easy. They're not rich, but they're rich in peace. And we are so, I'm not saying we are jealous, but we're like in awe of how chilled they are, even with everything that is not going right in their country. Okay? Number two, la familia. Family is everything here. People love their extended families. They're very warm to each other. They're touching, hugging. They hang out all the time. I'm at the mall and you see a group of friends come and they're talking and the girls, are putting their arms to each other, the students, and then they're just chill. They're just joking around. I remember when I first got here, I was with Sonia and we went to some kind of festival. And that was the first kind of fight we saw. They were just, not really a big fight because we don't see Panamanian fights. I say they're patient, even in traffic when you see them honking. And sometimes people think they're just very impatient. I tend to think that, but I think it's a way for them to communicate with each other. It's like, go ahead. Oh, you passed me. Why did you stop suddenly? Boom, boom. Yeah, they talk with the horn. That's culture. So if you want to come to Panama and you want to hear honking, you don't want to hear dogs barking, you don't want to hear loud music, sis, you're in the wrong place. Run, because that is culture. So family is important. On the weekends, if you go to any small community, they're outside, they have the music playing, they have the cerveza, they're grilling, they're eating. Weekends are major. They're at the beach. There's a little beach on the Caribbean side that I love called Venus Azuelas. And I remember the one time I went there, it was families only. There were no gringos, no foreigners. And I could pass for Panamanian because of my skin texture, color, because there are a lot of people who look like me here, which is one of the reasons we love being here. We don't feel like we're sticking out like I did in my neighborhood over there. Yeah. Number three, respect for authority. Panamanians are compliant. If the rule says don't do it, they don't do it. Metro culture, it is prohibited to eat or drink in las estaciones del metro. People are supposed to eat or drink once in a while. You see somebody drinking something, but you don't see anybody with chips and stuff. That's why the metro is spotless. We could learn a couple of things from them, right? There is a lot we can learn from Panamanian, I can tell you. And that's why I love those people. I took my daughter, I think I was at Cinco de Mayo, and we were buying something from this lady who had this beautiful skin complexion. She got cute hair. I mean, she was selling little thing, and I'm like, how much money is she making? But her spirit was joyful. And she looked at me and she's like, oh, bonita, bonita. She's looking at my daughter. She's like, how pretty she is. And he started talking to me and warmth, something we have lost in some of those communities. Number four, respect for the elderly. They love old people. They call you, I call them señor, señora. And if you're very old, they say don or doña. It's a sign of respect. Okay? When you are an older person, supposedly the young people are supposed to get up and let you sit. That happens to me all the time. Señora, siéntese. Gracias. Sometimes if I have one stop or two stop and I'm like, voy a parar. Gracias. I'm going to get off soon, so it's okay. And if a young person sits, I have seen an older person come down and say, get up, give your seat to an older person. Culture. You may not be used to that, but get used to it. If you're old, you're going to be respected and revered. Thank you, God. Jubilado line. If you go to the bank, you go somewhere, they have a special line for old people. So when I go in the bank and I show my bag, because they have to check, there's a security guard at almost every building in Panama, okay? Just get used to that. And then they'll say, jubilada? I'm like, yes. Caja? Are you going to go to the window? Sí. Adelante. Gracias. So I go straight to my jubilado line. There could be a long line at the bank, but then the next cashier that is free, she'll say, jubilado? And I'm just prints up and I'm out. Over there, I was in Miami at the airport. The little people that they take the wheelchair to pick them up from the door of the plane to bring them to immigration. The line was like 3, 4 deep, and these old people were in the back of the line behind me. And I'm like, what's the point? I said, this would never happen in Panama. They should go straight up front. Culture. Don't talk about the discount that we get, when you go to the restaurant, to the hotel, when I catch a bus to go to Boquete, discount, discount, discount. 25% off your plane tickets. It pays to be old in Panama. I'm gonna giggle, right? Hopefully don't let it get on your nerves. The next one I have here is the roots. Panamanians have deep roots. I talked about the paella of cultures that are here. The difference that I see, and I've been here almost 3 years, is their focus on preserving their culture. You know how they're trying to erase us over there. Here, they want to maintain and preserve it. How refreshing is that? And you wonder why people are coming here. We just want something better, something nicer, where somebody looks at me, doesn't assume that I'm a thief. I'm stupid because I have a darker skin color. They don't have that here. Now, once in a while in the news, I hear that they talk about el racismo, like there's some racism here. And no place is perfect, but it's not in my face. I don't see the cops out there. There are a lot of cops in the streets here. I don't feel threatened by them. And I don't drive, but when I'm passing by them, my heart doesn't start palpitating. No. Culture. So deep roots, they go out of their way to preserve their history. They repeat it, they celebrate it, they dance around it, they wear it, they wear their polleras, and they wear the Congo outfits, and they do the tamborino, they march, and when you see the bands and pride. Yes. If you go to any Panamanian feria, meaning a holiday or a party, they say, somos orgullosos de ser panameños. We are proud to be Panamanians. Oh my God. Yeah. It's good to be proud of who you are. But when you have people trying to constantly put you down and make you feel like you're nothing, it's hard. It's hard. They preserve their culture in terms of food, music, dress. Maybe we can talk about the dress code here as well. Panamanians as a whole, the dress code is conservative. So please don't come here and wear your little cute, what do you call those, Daisy Dukes or whatever, really short, and your butt cheeks hanging, your belly hanging. We don't do that here. People my age wear clothes that look like this. Now, once in a while, I do have like sleeveless thing that I wear if it's really hot. But you're not going to see an older person in the street, the Panamanian woman with her shoulders out. I mean, at home, she might wear her muumuu, but conservative. I don't see too many kids with their butt, pants hanging down. Once in a while, I'll see a young person trying to look thuggish, but not quite. But they have rappers, they try. But I think the culture is so strong that it's like keeping it in check. And I love that. I love that. Conservative dress. So please don't come mess it up. You need to adjust. Don't. If I see a man in shorts during the week, usually it's a foreigner. On the weekend, they're a little bit more flexible, going to the beach or, the partying. And someone said that the dress code is a little bit more conservative in the city versus the interior. But again, we can talk about religion. Religion, this is a country that is about 60, 70% Catholic. So they're into the religion, the saints, and the holidays. Wow, God, I don't know how many saints we have here. Easter is something to behold from they call it La Semana Santa, the whole week. There's a lot going on, a lot of church activities. And if you're in Panama and you're here on Good Friday, you want to go to Casco Viejo and participate in the procession where they're bringing Jesus, not the real Jesus. They're carrying Jesus on this beautiful float, fresh flowers, and then hundreds of people in black just singing, and they're carrying the float, they're carrying Jesus. That's what your penance, right? And then they're moving from side to side and they're humming. Ooh, gives you chill. Very somber. And the Archbishop in the middle, very Catholic. So people celebrate their saints. They do the pilgrimage. The other day I saw in one province, they did that celebration at sea. I think El Carmen, Saint El Carmen, the lady, we have a church here called Iglesia del Carmen. And they say this is the patron Patrona, yeah, the patron of the fishermen. So they had the boats decked out and they had a procession. See, my God, it was so amazing. Listen, I love it all. I love it all. So when you see it, don't go, oh, say, Maggie told me. Yes, there's a lot going on. So the other things that we do nationally, like the pollera, that is a national dress. But one day I went to a presentation where they showed different polleras and what it means, you know, in the community, and why they use this color versus that color, why the shirt looks a certain way. I mean, I thought it was long, but it's amazing, you know, the variety. I love it. I'm still gonna do a photo shoot in a pollera one of these days, but I'm trying to do the traditional, do I do the Congo? So to be determined, right? Work-life balance. Panamanians do not live to work. They work so they can live. So we could learn a little thing about that. Holidays, everybody leaves the city and they go home to see their families. If they have a 3-day weekend, they're gone to celebrate with La Familia, to maintain their culture. On the weekends, they're at the beach. And don't come here thinking they're going to work 8, 10 hours. No, ma'am. And that's why when they're supposed to come fix something for you, you're going to have to wait. There's no rush to do anything. It'll get done when it gets done. When the guys are working at a job, I think it's so funny. Every time I pass, they're laying down with a sombrero on their face, their hat, they're taking a siesta. So don't come here thinking that you're going to say, oh, they're not productive. Keep your productivity over there. It gets done, just not today. Mañana. Embrace the mañana mindset. Don't schedule 3 appointments in one day. No, sis, it's not going to work. One a day, because it could extend to day 2, day 3, day 4. And when you have a delivery coming, just pray. Just wait. If they come, they come. If they don't come, it'll be tomorrow, maybe. Oh my God. Another thing is greetings, politeness. We greet each other. You don't walk inside an elevator with people standing there. You don't say buenas, buenos dias. Yes. People in the street, you cross, buenos dias. So learn to do the same. Oh, I'm American. I don't know how, I don't say good morning. You are rude, plain rude. The culture says if you cross someone in the street, you say good morning. You enter your building, you see the gentleman sitting at the desk, you say buenas, buenos dias, buenas tardes. That's politeness. When you exit the elevator and you leave somebody in there, you say hasta luego, bye, ciao. And if you don't see someone doing it, my friend Hilaria said, they're probably not Panamanians. In my building, sometimes people come in and I'm there, they don't say hello, they don't say goodbye when they leave. And I'm usually assuming like, oh yeah, that's from somewhere else, because we have people here from all over the world, okay? So you greet people, it is polite. You want to be a polite expat. I'm here to tell you, don't let them say, oh, these are the rude Americans, gringos. Do not do that, because I'm telling you, okay? Greetings are important. Politeness. Gracias. Muchas gracias. A la orden. You're welcome. Buen provecho. Enjoy your meal. Your server will be smiling at you most of the time. Oh, that's another tip. If you want to tip your server, do it in cash, because they do shared tips. So if you have good service, remember 5. Okay? All right. Time. We talk about time in mañana. Punctuality. Actually, they say at work, punctuality is expected. But outside of work, whenever. So going to a party, don't be the first one to be there on time. No bueno. Because they're not going to be there on time. Listen, it was the same thing in Africa, same thing in the Caribbean. Come on. Don't put Panama on the map like we're the only one that do it. No. Human warmth. They're very warm. Once they get to know you, then it's an embrace, it's a cheek, kiss. So if you know someone and then you're kind of rigid, like, I don't want to say, like certain people, they're going to say, oh, he's standoffish. Because once they know you, they break the ice. You're part of the familia. They're going to invite you to their things, to their holidays. They're very warm and generous that way. Okay. In fact, I think my friend Diane said she had met a family at a hotel. Then they took her with them as they were going around. Trust is very important. And I think it makes a society better when you can trust a person, your neighbor. But we're just so no bueno. In fact, in one of my previous videos, we talked about why Finland has gotten the #1 spot in terms of on the global happiness scale. And one other thing they say about the Finnish people is that they say they trust each other and they trust their government. That makes for happy people. If you can look at someone and you don't automatically assume they're going to rob you like they do us, that we're just up to no good. And you're like, if somebody drops in the street, sisters have told me here, 20 people gathered. Are you okay? I'm going to take your bag. Can I help you? Versus over there, somebody can step over you if you fall. Oh my God. Look what we've been missing. Smile is infectious here. People smile very easily. They hug. They're kind and forgiving. Because the history that we have with this country, with things that happened in the past, with the canal and the bombing and everything else, and to see them embrace us, accept us, that's exceptional. That means they have forgotten or forgiven us. I mean, they know we're not responsible, but you know how people hold onto grudges. They don't. They're very forgiving. And again, it's like they have a short memory. But you know what? Some people may find it as a weakness. I think it's a strength. Because when you hang on to the past, which we do a lot over there, we never forget. I was talking to my brother about it the other day. It's like, yes, it happened, but we are here and now. What can we do to move forward instead of dragging the past? He did that to me. He didn't. That's not going to get you anywhere, sis. So Panamanians are very forgiving despite the ugly history. Thank you, God. Another thing we talk about religion, how important religion is. Now, I told you the country is about 70% Catholic. I love the Archbishop. He's very warm and he's very politically connected. I think he was helpful in breaking whatever was happening in Bocas del Toro. He yields a lot of power, right? He's warm. The country is very conservative in terms of dress and belief and respect and all that. But at the same time, prostitution is legal here. Okay. So if you see them hanging around the street, they're legal. They have their papers. Okay. The story I tell everybody, one day early in the morning, I was going somewhere and I was wearing my workout fit tights, and this guy came around, was rolling his window, and I started walking really fast. And I'm like, oh my God, he's going to ask me how much per hour. Yes, it's legal here. And they tell you certain neighborhood, certain hotel, if you go in there, they think you know what's what, okay? Anyway, we have lots of saints here that they worship. Something that I noticed, I think it's funny. This is just like my observation that Panamanian men, not all of them, but a large percentage wear nice cologne. Who? None of that Old Spice stuff. I'm talking Calvin Klein, Paco Rabanne, or whatever. So I could be passing the average worker with a backpack in the morning. Buenos dias. And, woo, a nice whiff. I don't know what it is, my observation. Culture in the metro, they're good at giving me their seats, but boy, oh boy, during rush hour, if they want to get inside that metro, the train is slowing down, okay? It's going to stop. But before the train stop, there's a green button, somebody's pushing the button. I'm like, the door's gonna open, ma'am, just wait. And then as you're trying to step outside of the train, the people coming in are pushing to get in. That's culture, I am telling you. If you experience that, let me know if you've experienced that. If you take the metro, on the buses, try not to get on those buses during rush hour. It is not pretty. It's not pretty. First of all, we have flu going around, COVID going around, all of them. You don't want to be people on top of people. You don't have your mask, you're going to get sick. But to get on that bus, I could be wearing my hair like that with all my gray. They would pass in front of me. They would push past me to get onto that bus. That's culture. I love you, Panama, but this is true. That's what I have seen. And it's no different. Doesn't matter. If it's rush hour and I'm like, oh, adelante, go ahead. I'll wait. I don't take Ubers during rush hour either because they get stuck in that traffic. But those buses, try not to need to get on those buses on rush hour. It's not good. All right, let's see. Conservative dress. We talked about that, right? Okay, another thing that surprised me when I got here is that all these kids on these buses and these cars, no car seats. I was like, I'm used to it now. And I don't see that the kids do any worse than our kids over there. People who have cars, I've seen car seats in the store, so I know some people use them. But the general population, you know, the people from the comarcas, the indigenous coming down to take their kids to the clinic, they sit in somebody's lap and they're okay. So if you see it, don't stare. People don't stare at you like this, like they did me in Rwanda, Africa. OMG. We don't do that here. You get on the bus, people may connect with you for a moment and then they look away, everybody on their phone doing their business. No one is paying you any mind. I can slide that in right now. Your body contour, size, no one cares. No one's looking at your butt. No one's looking at your breasts. So don't go do the enhancement to impress anybody. We don't care. We don't care if you flat. We don't care if you have no booty like I don't. Nobody gives a. Relax, sis. Relax. We walk for health, but we're not trying to look like no Kim Kardashian. We're not looking for that. People don't care about that. No, 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 no. Relax. In Panama City and in the interior, we have fruterias everywhere. That's where they sell fruit and veggies. You could be walking down the street, somebody's got a truck. In the back of the truck, there's a pile of avocado. There's a pack, they have banana, plantains. I've seen watermelons and fresh fruits and vegetables galore. You don't have to go to Merca Panama, which is everybody's favorite place to go because it's like building after building of fresh fruits and veggies. But once you move to your neighborhood, one of the first things you need to find out, where is the next fruteria? Which corner can I find this person at where you can get your piñas, your pineapple, your papayas, your mangoes, your, what else do they have there? Mandarins. And then when I go to Cinco de Mayo, you know, I get onions and peppers and all kinds of things. Cheap. Funders. Funders are small mom and pops, but not all funders are created equal, okay? So in the morning, if you in a corner, particular corner, especially close to a metro station, bus station, you're gonna see somebody on a little cart selling the fried bread, empanadas, some kind of bread stuff. They have coffee, they have juice, they have shishami, which is that corn porridge looking thing. People eat on the run like that. So I don't think those are funders, right? But you can get some easy, what do we call those? You know, food that you can carry in your hand. There's a term for it, but it's not connecting right now. But funders could be a hole in the wall, you know, and then if in Cinco de Mayo, when I go there like 7 o'clock, people are sitting there, they're having the fried bread, they have the corn tortillas, they have not bacon in those funders, but they have hot dogs that they cut and then they put it in some kind of gravy. No bueno for me, but because I don't eat breakfast, but they'll be eating that. Sometimes it's fried chicken in the rice. Oh yeah. And arroz, we eat rice any time of the day, but that's a Caribbean thing, right? And also Asian thing. They eat rice for breakfast too. So don't point the finger. Enjoy. Don't eat so much rice though, no bueno. But there is even a fonda called Fonda Lo Que Hay, which is a fancy restaurant. So I don't know why you call it a fonda. It's not a fonda, it's the fonda is in the name. But a fonda is where you go, you can find truly Panamanian food. And it's usually very affordable. I have my favorite, El Motete. Shout out to El Motete. That's where I get my, if I want a sancocho, it's at the corner of Via Argentina. I estación de the metro. Noise. Listen, if you are a light sleeper and you get really annoyed, well, you're not going to do well in Panama because the weekend is noisy. If it's not the dogs in the interior or the roosters crowing, it's the música. People play their music till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning because remember the weekend is for relaxing. People don't need to sleep. They go to the beach and then they go to the party. So they can go to bed around 5 o'clock. You know, after a major holiday, the next day, the bank's not open till like 12 o'clock. Banks don't open at 9 o'clock here anyway. They open like at 11. Some of the banks, not all. People don't work 8, 10-hour days. Sometimes I'm like 3 o'clock, they're already coming. I'm like, when did you start? That's something I need to check. They don't work 8, 10 hours a day. No. Relax. Work doesn't dominate this culture, that's for sure. So the noise, on the weekends, we have the Diablo Rojos, which were the old school buses that were left here when the Americans left. Some people have decked them, you know, with arts and everything. And then on the weekend, I think you can rent them and you can have a party there. You have a DJ. So they're walking down the street, boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, time. There's no limit. There is no noise ordinances. In the city, you can make as much noise as you want. You can shoot fireworks at for any reason, you know, baptism, a birthday. Gotta get used to it. I know in Boquete, I did a house sitting one time because the people were like, oh, the reggaeton is gonna go till, you know, for like a whole week. So we're leaving, we're going somewhere quiet. You can do that. Just don't criticize. Because I'm telling you, it's gonna be noisy. On the weekends, the buses at night, late. Carnival, where I live, we have a stand right across the street. The music is popping till like 5 a.m. I got woken up at 5 a.m. with fireworks when it was Chinese New Year. Noise is part of the culture. If you don't want to hear honking, I moved away from where I was really bad, but the honking, the music, the Diablo Rojo, dogs barking, that was a problem in Peru as well. They tell you the dogs bark, they're not going to muzzle the dog. Get your earplugs, that's what you need to do. Oh, and also we have the hot rods, you know, on Thursday over here where I'm at, it's like the motorcycle. So listen, we need to embrace the culture. You don't go into a government office with your head covered, they're gonna make you take it. People don't walk around with shorts and their butts hanging. We don't do that. A lot of people wear sneakers. The ladies have certain flat shoes they wear, and they're like the wedge sandals. And they have some flat sandals that they wear. Culture. People love cafe. But we're in the Americas. Everybody loves coffee. And Panamanian coffee is, and if you don't want to spend money buying the geisha coffee, because most of us can't afford it, you know, like thousands of dollars. No, we're not doing that. But Paloma, is it the orange bag? That's the next best coffee that they have here. But the coffee is just good. All right. The food is good, not so healthy, but it's good. People, warm, patient. living la vida loca, enjoying life, very open and embracing. They're used to foreigners here because of the canal. They're used to different people. Everybody moves about their business. Nobody's paying you any attention, sis, so you can relax. Greetings, politeness, kindness, saying please, thank you. They revere the elderly, so you show the same respect. Okay? But anyway, religion. This is a very Catholic religion country here, so they believe in their God and their saints and just embraces. I don't go to church anymore, but I go inside churches just to participate in all the events that they have. And don't stay in the expat bubble, just go out there and experience the country. You chose Panama. I say Panama chose me because I connected with it, but I think it's my job to learn, and I'm still learning. But those are some things I have observed that are going to make your research less tedious because you say, oh, now I know all this. I know all this. Maggie told me. All right. So this is the first in the series of Educate. So every week I'm going to come with something to educate you about Panama and Panama culture, Panama life. I think it's exciting. So I hope you enjoy this. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you like my content. You know I love you, whether you subscribe or not. And I love my members. Shout out to them. They know who they are. Denise, Deborah, I forgot. But thank you so much for your support. I love you. God bless you. Au revoir à la prochaine. Bye bye.